If you have plateaued your revenue in your business, you feel like you're at an income plateau, this podcast is for you. This might be why and what to do about it, aka how I finally blew past my $20,000 per month to $30,000 per month cash month plateau. If you've ever been at an income plateau, you know the pain. You know the pain, even if you're making more than people around you, more than your dad, more than your friends. You shouldn't be complaining, right? You're making so much fucking money. Why are you complaining? So I was at $20,000 to $30,000 cash months for years. And I was so proud of my comfy, stable business. Like, there are no roller coasters for this, Virgo. Thank you very much. But in my head, I was annoyed. I felt like something was going wrong. And while yes, I had been working on cutting my working hours, so I only needed to work 20 hours a week maximum, I wanted to be making more. And I'm a powerful witch, so what the actual fuck? I know the mindset techniques. I know the breath work. I know the spells. And when I was sitting with myself and being honest with myself, my plateau really came from comfort. I was really comfortable where I was at. And there is nothing wrong with having a comfortable business with steady income. In my book, that is much better than having these huge waves of cash and then making no money. Love me some steady income. But this message is for you, if your soul is nudging you for some more. If you're feeling really called to more, like, man, I really want to get to that next level. I really want to have that radical riches. And also, side note, this is also where seasons come in. Are you in a comfy rest season of your business and your life, or are you in a growth season? Neither of them are wrong. Both of them are needed. So what season are you in? Going back to my story. I remember the fire that I had when I was scaling from $3,500 a month to $10,000 a month to $20,000 a month. And I did it so quickly because I was motivated by the money. And as anti-capitalist, anti-colonization, leftist-leaning me, it was really fucking hard to admit that. It was hard to admit that at the time, one of the undercurrents of why it was so easy for me to grow so quickly was because I was motivated by the money at the time. I was saving for a down payment for a home, our forever home. That was fucking motivating for me to be able to buy land, to have our own regenerative homestead and to reforest. I 10x'd my revenue because I was willing to work for the money. Now, this was years and years ago, that original big 10x jump. So what about more recently? Now that things feel so comfy and easy, when I sat down and got honest with myself, I had to actually work for it. Okay, now before you're like, what the fuck? I thought you were anti-hustle. I'm not talking about working crazy hours or hustling here. I'm talking about actually trying, actually doing the things I knew worked, not being lazy about it just because I could be lazy and still have a comfy, steady income business. When my soul was leading me to more visibility, more impact, more income, was I willing to actually try for it? And this is definitely reaching to a past pattern of mine where I wouldn't admit what I wanted because I was afraid of being disappointed. I wouldn't go 100% in trying because what if I tried and I didn't get it and I was disappointed? Ooh, I remember that being so alive. It's actually interesting to talk about it right now because I remember that being so alive for me. Like that feeling was so, like that idea of being disappointed was so painful for my heart, and to think back about it now where I am and having worked through that and gotten beyond that and that not being alive anymore. It's such a reminder that like business is this playground for soul evolution, that we can work through these patterns, that we can really grow as humans, really challenge ourselves in these beautiful ways. So anyways, I had thought back to the last time I had that major income leap where I was plateaued in revenue at that $2,500 a month to $3,500 a month for years, at those baby stages of my business to much later on. And in that first leap, for me, what really, really helped me was having mentorship and community keeping me accountable to my desires. Like I had my first ever private coach. I was in my first ever mastermind. It was also identifying and doing the 10% of actions that I knew actually mattered to me. And it was also daily mindset work, actually opening my journal and writing and doing the mindset process I know to do every single day, which is just as easy to skip and say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow as it is to actually do. And that second piece of doing the top 10% actions that I actually knew mattered, that has changed from before to now. Like what changed back then in the different structure of my business, it was cold pitching. It was cold pitching people I wanted to work with. That was my 10% action that mattered. That's not the case now. Now it's daily writing and daily selling, even when I don't feel like it and one day doesn't matter. It's creating the free training, even when the launch will probably have good sales if I don't. It's sharing details about myself and my business that feel way safer to be quiet about. It's asking myself what would actually going for it look like and answering honestly, what if you actually went for it? What would actually going for it look like for you? And I'm not talking about crazy working hours or hustling. What if you actually tried? And I know how smart and magical you are. You're only like 50% trying right now. And if you feel like you are really, really trying and you're working a lot of hours, I would bet money that's actually you're watching a bunch of trainings, you're mental spiraling about what you should do. It's not actually doing those 5-minute tasks that actually matter, of actually hitting publish, of actually reaching out to someone. I dare you to answer that. I dare you to write those down, journal on them. And sure, your plateau, the reason why you're plateaued right now could be a capacity thing. Like you could have your product suite structured in a way that you literally don't have the capacity to bust through your plateau, or you aren't doing visibility growth. So you're speaking to the same people over and over and over again. But let's say you're doing all those things and you're more in my camp where you just weren't trying. And you just need to add in those, like that last little bit of things. You need to actually go for it. Oof, so good.